So this upper body series is using the ball and a light set of weights. We're starting in parallel stance, ball in between inner thighs, starting straight away with bicep curls. Now if at any time you want to modify, just keep the legs nice and long and strong, squeezing those adductors. So just pulling everything in towards the midline. If and when you are ready, we're going to add on finding a squat. So as you squat, you send the tailbone to the back of the room, really shifting the weight in towards the heels. You're trying to find your very lowest potential every time you find that squat position, almost like you could take a seat on a chair. We're starting to find our pulses here at the bottom. So again, very lowest potential, barely moving. And we're going to hold this low bend of the knees and start to reach those fingers forward, finding a bend and extend. As you find your bend and extend, the focus is on the reach, but you never want to fully reach and extend those elbows. So never locking out the elbows. Keep the lower body in the exact same position that it was when you started. Keep the chest proud. Now find your tempo. Tempo reach. Little tiny pulses forward. Those quads should be on fire now. Those glutes. Stay in here for just another moment or so. Start to pulse the fingers up and then pulse the hips down. Of course, if you need a break, come up to a standing position, give your lower body a little bit of a break, or even those shoulders a little bit of a break if you need to, and then come back and meet me in just a moment. But we're standing up right here. We start with shoulder lifts, not swinging, no momentum, just coming straight up to shoulder height with a soft bend in the elbows. I want you to actively squeeze into that ball here. So really find the lower body working. We're going to add on a calf raise or an elevate, keeping the backs of the legs nice and strong and straight. Glutes are engaged, so the entire backs of the legs are working. Now, of course, if you want to modify, skip this portion. We're holding the lift at the top, palm rotations, palms up and down. Always being mindful of keeping a soft bend of the elbows so you're not locking them out here. Roll the shoulders down the length of the spine. Keep the chest nice and proud. We're holding the palms up to the sky right here, taking back to your bicep curls. Only this time you're at shoulder height. You can take the elbows down to a lower position if you want to modify. Absolutely. You can drop the heels to the floor if you want to modify as well. We're adding on a bend of the knees. So bend and extend. Of course, again, optional. Heels can be up, heels can be down. You can keep the knees nice and straight. So you find what layer works best for you. Try to keep the the elbows at shoulder height from here, down an inch with the hips, up an inch with the fingers. So just find this opposition, fingers go up, hips go down, barely moving, little tiny pulses. I know that those shoulders are starting to fire up. So try to relax them away from the ears. Maybe give yourself a little shake here, take a break, and then come back and meet us in a moment when you're ready. Try not to let the elbows bow out. You don't want to find little chicken wings. We're moving on. The ball is now going to go behind the back of the right knee. Now this is totally optional again. We're just going to fire up the hamstring a little bit. Bring your arms back up to 90 degrees, palms facing in. Give the elbows a nice big squeeze in towards the midline. Up for 2. March the leg. Reach back, hamstring curls, the elbows pull in. So up 2, back 2. So if this is too fast for you, feel free to go a little bit slower. Take your own tempo. Find your form, the speed that works best for your form. The more you squeeze into that ball, the more you're going to fire up those hamstrings, squeeze the glutes, working the entire back of the leg again, challenging your balance. If you lose the ball, get rid of it. Now we're holding it at the bottom here, so pulse the heel up to the sky as you pulse the elbows up. You'll want to squeeze the forearms in towards the midline right here, working through the shoulders to the triceps. We're going to hold the heel in up towards the sky and then kick the pinkies up to the sky for tricep kickbacks. Keep those elbows nice and high so the extension is right from there. We're holding the pinkies up. Little tiny lift. Heel can option to lift up, as do the pinkies, or you can keep the heel as it was. You can even get rid of that ball. So take whatever level works best for you. We're getting ready to finish it here with tiny little pulses. The challenge is to never let those thumbs pass the hips. They just lift a little higher. One more push. Now the ball goes back in between the inner thighs. We reset, we restart, back to those shoulder lifts. Again, no swing, no momentum. This is your chance, now that you know where you're going, to push yourself a little harder. But maybe you need to modify this time around. Totally up to you. Again, soft bend in elbows. Maybe this time around you take the heel lift or you skip it. Lengthen through the backs of the legs. Palm rotations. Up and down. And then we're going to hold those palms up and we find those bicep curls again with those arms at shoulder height. Find that bend and extend. Find that contraction within the biceps. Lift a little taller through the backs of the legs. Feeling that crown of the head pull up to the sky. Here's that bend and extend of the knees. Totally optional. Squeeze that ball a little tighter within the inner thighs. We're holding the bend. Back to those up an inch, down an inch. The hips can stay stable and just the arms move, or you can find that opposition as the tailbone goes down. The fingers go high. Finishing it here with tiny little pulses, barely moving. You'll notice that the shoulders are going to want to creep up towards the ears. Get rid of that tension, push it away, relax it, let it go. If you need a break, take it. You're going to move on to that ball going behind the back of the left knee. Of course, if you didn't do so on the right side, you can skip it on this side. Find that march, palms face in, lift up for 2, and then back for 2. Up for 2, and back for 2. Ooh. We lost one. The more you squeeze that heel in towards the glute, the more you're going to bring that ball into a tighter position that you're not going to lose it. That's where the challenge comes in. Getting ready to hold it, finding those tiny little pulses. Forearms and elbows hugging towards the sides of the body, little tiny pumps up. You should feel like you should be able to hold a pencil in between those shoulder blades back behind you. That's how much you're squeezing and hugging everything in. Getting ready for those kickbacks. Pinkies go high to the sky. Keep squeezing that ball. And notice that the chest stays nice and proud. So now, find those little tiny lifts. Find a micro bend within the right knee so you're not locking it out. Getting ready to finish it out with those pulses. Little tiny pulls up. Almost done with your upper body section. Get rid of that ball. Release your weights down towards the floor. Give your hips some shake side to side. Paddle out those legs. Maybe even interlace the hands behind the back and then roll yourself up to a standing position when you are ready. Finishing here by rolling all the way up, taking a forearm stretch, right forearm into the bicep. Relax the shoulder down, maybe take a side body stretch, maybe take the gaze up and underneath that right tricep. Really finding that reach. And then we'll swap it out. Left forearm in and up. Drop the shoulder down, take that side body stretch. Now if there's anything else that your body needs before we take it to the bar, have at it.